Yo, what is up, Squirtle Crew? This is TheJDzero, and we have another match against Midnight, the Twilight Gamer. It's not a double battle, it's another single battle. So I didn't get a double battle with her. I decided to have another single battle with her. But this time I'm actually using my original team here. Let's see. Well, now I kind of made my Godzilla more of a Godzilla because I added a different move on there. Instead of having the original move that it used to have on there, it now has Flamethrower. So it's pretty interesting. She's using the same team. Well, a little bit different from her original team. She actually added three? She added 3 new Pokemon into her team. She has a metal, she has a Azumarill, Umbreon, and a, what's she call it? What is it? A, Marval. And it looks like a pretty much interesting team when you think about it, against me. Since I have a setup team that kind of still has more effect on her fairy side of her team. And it's good because since I have a new move onto my Tritanitar, it's going to be even better. So let's go ahead and get into the match. So, Midnight starts off with her Azumarill. I start off with my Edinelli, the predictable Edinelli. I go for the Stealth Rocks. And she goes for the knockoff, try to knock off my Focus Slash. It does knock off my Focus Slash, but it doesn't KO me to my Focus Slash. It only kind of like knocked me down to 2 HP, so that was pretty cool. She does go for another knockoff, killing off the Ed, but before I actually got a Toxic off, where now all I have to do is just dial the Toxic. Then I send in the Joker, the Gengar, trying to get a Hacks off. Does not happen. She switches out into Machino, or whatever you call this freaking fighting type Pokemon. But I end up going for the Hacks onto it instead. It does a pretty good amount of damage, even though it wasn't hacked, basically. And now it was pretty good damage even if I didn't get like a poison or a willow off of it, but I did get the willow off of it just to decrease it down and let it die off to a willow instead of me hacking it one more time. She sends out her Kingdra. I go for the touch just to predict to see if she's gonna do any Dragon Dance or anything. Instead of for her to go to the Dragon Dance, she actually goes for a Skull, kind of breaking my stash. Slash. I go for a Willow, I miss the Willow. She goes for another Skull, killing the Gengar. And now I have a dead Gengar. So now that's 2 Pokemon down from my side. And I pretty much only got like none on her side yet. So she decides to switch out instead of dealing with my Blastoise, my mascot. She sends in this little, there we go, Dedenne. So I go for a Skull onto Dedenne. It did a pretty good amount of damage. Tell you the truth, it did a pretty good amount. And then it gets the little Citrus Berry and the Cheek Pouch ability to get its health fully back to health. Goes for Discharge. It did a mid-half damage. I go for another Skull, see if I could at least get a burn or kill this thing off. It did not. It kind of almost killed it, but it didn't. But it goes for a Thunder, it lands the Thunder, and my mascot is pretty much destroyed. So, I set up the Claw. So, I was thinking, should I go for a Sword Dance right off the bat, or should I go for the, Bullet Punch? I go for the Bullet Punch. So now I am stuck in here with the Mawile. Now the whole thing about this is it went Mega Evolution. I went for a Source Dance, but this thing went Mega Evolution. And I think I went Source Dance like probably once or twice already. It does get a power up punch, so it does a lot more damage. Honestly, I feel like I should have, after I got it like +2 or +3, like, Source Dances, I should have went for the U-turn. Or I should have just went for Bullet Punch and then taken it out. But I went for the Bullet Punch, and it does not take it out, so I definitely feel like I should have just U-turn. But I just don't think I was fast enough to get that, basically. Or at least fast enough to roost up before it took me out. So I went to Godzilla. And this is where I was gonna flamethrower everything. But I decided instead to go for the EQ, taking it out. It does take it out. And then there you go. Then, well. So, she goes back into this Kindra looking Pokemon, and I was like, let me just go ahead and EQ you, because it should take you out. It does not take it out. It goes for a Skull. It almost Skull almost take me out, but got the burn, so now my attack is pretty much half. But I go for another EQ, because why the heck not? I think I should be able to take it out at this range because it's pretty weak. So I go for the EQ. It does not take it out. I was like, what? No way. But it gets another Skull off. It doesn't take me out, but I'm still burned. So once this burn kills me, it kills me. But it got me down to 5 HP, so I'm just living off of that. Then she sends out this thing, and then it goes for a fake out. Because I'm at half health, I can't really do anything. And that pretty much kills off Godzilla. So I just pretty much sacked off Godzilla just because I really couldn't do anything from there, and I'm not going to save it for later. So, since this thing is pretty much getting sand damage and the burn, I went into Professor X. So Professor X could deal with this. And this is, at this moment in time, this is where I think like, oh, okay, I think it's time for Professor X to sweep the whole team here. The rest of the team. So she sends out the Azumarill. I go for another Psychic. See how much damage it does. It does a pretty good amount. I'd probably will take it out for 2 hits. But she decides to go for a knockoff onto the Professor X Alakazam. Knock off my Lion Lance and pretty much end me. Literally, she ended me. And I was like almost close to finishing her off. I just needed to deal with her Umbreon and her Azumarill. Yeah. I only needed to deal with her 2 Pokemon. But that didn't happen. That did not happen. It did not go the way I wanted to go. It kind of did, but then it kind of didn't. And I'm alright with that. Honestly, it was like a pretty good match. To tell you the truth, guys. It was a pretty good match. I feel like I could have made a much better play on my part, but it didn't happen. But if you guys enjoyed this, please comment. Skull bash that like button. Put your scroll shades on and stay awesome, guys. Bye.